Hey you guys, so I wanted to come in here and kind of share with you one of my favorite honey mustard dressing recipes. It's like a homemade recipe. So I don't know about you, but I used to love the honey mustard dressings that I would get at the restaurants because they would be super sweet and they were like perfect with the plain little salads that they always give you in a restaurant where it's just like lettuce, cucumber, tomato, and it would just kind of help satisfy that craving in me for something a little tangy and a little sweet. But I wanted to know how to make a healthier version of it at home with not so much sugar or without refined sugar, and something that I could quickly whip up with things that I always have on hand. And so that's what I'm going to share with you today. So, and my son is like really loud because he's finished all his schoolwork and he is playing his game and he has his headphones on and can't hear anything outside of his headphones. So my apologies if you hear a great big shout from a boy upstairs. He's totally fine. He's totally fine. Okay, so I don't really measure this anymore, okay? But for the most part, I think that I go for every 1 part vinegar, I go 2 parts oil. But honestly, taste and see, okay? But that's what I'm gonna start with. So let's say you're going for about a 1/4 cup of oil, yeah? And I usually just use an extra virgin olive oil. I've used avocado oil before. You can use whatever, oil you prefer the flavors of. Play around with it. That's one of the things about homemade dressings. Like, you can play around with all the different kinds of healthier oils. I would just personally steer away from your vegetable oils and your canola oil. And I'll let you do your research on why. But if you want some links to some reputable articles, then you just ask me. Okay, so I have a rice vinegar, but I also usually actually make this with an apple cider vinegar. Now, I know apple cider vinegar, there he goes again. I know apple cider vinegar can be a little strong for some people, and they don't like the smell of it or the taste of it, and it doesn't bother me. So, but this one, rice vinegar, is a little bit more friendly to most everyone's tongues. So I'm gonna do about half of what I did in oil, I'm gonna do in the vinegar. I do like my vinegar. I like my dressing to be tangier. So if you don't like it to be really tangy, don't use as much of the vinegar. But another thing that you can do if you're wanting to take away from some of the tanginess is mix in a little bit of plain Greek yogurt. It'll help kind of bring down the acid a little bit. Now, keep in mind, this is a honey mustard recipe, so you're going to be adding mustard. You can just add regular yellow mustard. That's actually my favorite, is just straight up yellow mustard in my honey mustard dressing. But if you prefer something more like a Dijon, because it adds a little spice and kick, then do that. Feel free to do that. So we're just gonna add to start, really, we just need about 3 tablespoons. And I'm kind of at the bottom of my container here of mustard. So I'm gonna squeeze what I got and then taste and see. Yep, there you go, I've got perfect. Right about 3 tablespoons, maybe 4, we'll see. So the sweet part is gonna be a natural sugar. I usually use raw honey, and I usually like to get a local because it's gonna have all the vitamins and benefits, health benefits that you would get from local raw honey for allergy season. But since I'm at the very bottom of my honey, and I make sure to take a teaspoon of this each day for allergy reasons right now in Texas, so I don't have a headache every day all day. I'm gonna sub a pure maple syrup, which is also totally fine, as a way to be able to sweeten it up a little bit. So I'm just gonna eyeball it, but not much, like maybe 1 tablespoon is all I'm really gonna need just to sweeten it up. Now you play with yours, but that's what I like to do for mine, okay? Now keep in mind, this is making a batch of dressing. This is not one and done, like this is not gonna all go on my one salad today. This is going to, I'm gonna be whisked up, store, and I'm gonna use what I need, but I'm gonna store away what I don't need, right? So I've used my mustard, I've used my sweetener, and I've used my oil, and I've used my vinegar. I'm ready to whisk. So I'm just gonna use my handy dandy fork, and I'm gonna whisk it up. Here we go. All right, and I'm gonna taste and see. And since, you know, nobody else in the house eats this when I make it, but me, even though my son loves honey mustard, it's like they never think to try mom's homemade honey mustard. I'm gonna taste it. That's right about where I like it personally. So if it's a little too tangy for you, again, you would either whisk in a little bit of some maybe some Greek yogurt, about half what you did in the oil, or equal to what you did in the oil, depending on your taste. And the good thing about that is it would add a little protein to make it more filling, but it makes it creamy for you, right? But since I like the tang, that's what I'm gonna go with. So I just need a couple tablespoons of this, honestly, in my big old bowl, because I use the trick that my husband showed me where I cover it up and I shake it all up, and it literally starts to coat all the leaves. And a little trick for you, if you're wanting to get away from using so much dressing on your salads, then a little trick that I like to do is to cut the dressing. After I put the flavored dressing on my salad, if it's like, it's not as flavorful as I like, or like I need it to go a little bit extra, then I'll just add a little more vinegar, and then all the leaves and all the vegetables are wet and I'm good. Another trick is to put it on the leaves. Like before you add all your vegetables in there, just with the leafy greens, put the dressing on, shake it up, make sure the leaves are coated, because it's really the leaves that are gonna be holding your dressing, and then add your chunky vegetables and your seeds or whatever you're gonna have on top, and it won't soak up all the dressing to the big things. It'll be, you know, the main focus of your leafy greens, yeah? And you'll find that it is all that you really need. So I broke my own rules today, and I went ahead and put all my chunky vegetables on top. It's probably gonna take up some of my dressing, but I'm gonna get my lid, I'm gonna shake this up, and then I'm probably gonna sprinkle on top of here some of my cheese and sesame seeds and call it a day. It's a plain salad, but that's like why I rely on the dressing so much. I hope that you enjoyed this little recipe share, and that you have a great day. Let me know if you'd like to see more videos like this of my sometimes plain Jane, but everyday kind of solutions to helping me eat healthy. And I'll talk to you guys later, okay? Bye.